Here. Morning, Katie. Lovely to see you remotely, and thank you for joining us. So lovely to see everyone today. So this one was inspired by a couple of events last week. So last Wednesday was the autumn equinox. I think I mentioned it last week, weren't we? Because we were practicing on the equinox. So the equinox means balance. We've got two every year that kind of mark the transition from spring and summer, and then summer into autumn. And that was the one that we had last week. And it comes from an old French word, which means to balance night. And it's that time of the year where the night and the day are in perfect harmony. So we've got an exact kind of length of night and day, a perfect balance between the two of them, which befits this time of year, us Librans and the scales and the balance. So a little bit of a balance challenge. Don't worry, Barry, it's not all about standing on your leg. So balance means so much more than that. So there is a little bit of balance, but it doesn't always mean that we're going to be standing up doing it. But think about instead in a very kind of holistic way, balancing your movement with your breath, trying to balance the inhale with the exhale. I know I tend to kind of snatch my inhale, especially when I'm getting a little bit breathless or tired. I kind of hold that inhale. The inhale is shorter. So see if you can maintain throughout the practice that nice steady inhale and a nice steady exhale. Let's get going, team. Team Zoom, our beautiful autumn. I love this time of year. And a day like today, there's nothing better, is there? Let's start lying down. I was only talking to my sister yesterday, who's in Africa, and there it's kind of hotter, or a brief period of cold. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And she was saying how she missed seasons. And I thought how lovely it is that we do get to experience those changing seasons. So when you brought your knees in towards your chest, have a little roll around, maybe take your knees around in a circle or gently rock. Just have a little massage there, particularly if your back feels a little tight for having laid in bed this morning. Maybe you've not been up long, or maybe you've been super busy. So whatever, have a little bit of movement there, just ease into any tightness. And then just bring your feet down to the floor when you're ready. And you can keep your knees bent today, and walk your feet a little wider apart, and just rest your knees against each other. Or if you're comfortable, stretching the legs out in front of you, go ahead and stretch out one leg and then the other. Maybe take a little roll across the back of your heels, and then let your toes roll out, your heels roll in. And we'll just let the arms fall gently alongside you, a little bit of space between your arms and your body. And then take a moment to feel really balanced on your mat. So you might need to gently pick up your head and tuck your chin in. Make sure it's the very middle of the back of your head resting on the floor. Maybe lift your chest so you can tuck your shoulder blades down the back. You might do the same with your hips to create more space. So go ahead and make whatever kind of tiny personal adjustments you need to feel nice and balanced, right and left side of the body, top to bottom, lying on your mat. And then gently close your eyes. And take a moment. I'm going to come up to seated so I can talk to you. Take a moment to begin to shift out of that busy doing brain. I know I was living in that a couple of weeks ago. And it takes a while, as I found, to drop into that state of simply being, of not feeling compelled to do all the time. And we live in such an increasingly busy and noisy world that even maybe when we perhaps don't feel like we're in that part of our brain, when we maybe don't feel that we are particularly busy, we can't help sometimes but kind of suck up the energy around us. So let's help ourselves by beginning to watch our breath. Remembering just what I said at the beginning, let's see if we can balance out the inhale and the exhale. We don't need to count the breath, just get that kind of innate feeling that your inhale and your exhale are of a similar length. It's not just about the length of the breath, it's about the depth of each breath. So the depth of each inhale and the depth of each exhale. You're affording each component of your breath the same energy, the same time, the same thought. And each breath is of a similar quality. We're not robbing ourselves of the opportunity to breathe in nice and deeply, or to release all the breath as you exhale. So there's a real sense of harmony with each inhale and exhale. And we'll start with a little balancing breath exercise. And if it's a little bit complicated, if I've lost you, then just focus on, again, that sense of balance and harmony of each inhale and each exhale. But if you're ready with me, let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then just release the breath through the nose or the mouth, whichever feels most comfortable. And then the next time you inhale, imagine that breath traveling all the way up the front of the body, from the tips of your toes, all the way up the legs, lifting your belly, lifting your chest, right up to the crown of the head. And then as you breathe out, releasing the breath all the way down the back of the body, down the spine, down the backs of the legs, and out through the heels. So breathing in all the way up the front of the legs, into the belly, into the chest, up into the throat, and then out through the crown of the head. And then breathing out down the back seam of the body, releasing and relaxing all of those big, deep muscles that run alongside the spine, backs of the legs and out through the heels. And just continuing now, it's called orbital breathing. So imagine the breath almost like a circuit as it orbits the body. It's from the practice of Qigong, said to help balance the energies of the body. The front of the body as you breathe in, said to be linked to that masculine yang energy associated with spring and summer. And the back of the body associated with that slower, quieter, feminine yin energy that we're slipping into as we enter autumn and winter, slowing down. And we need both. Inhale that gives us our resolve, our energy, our drive, but equally knowing when we need to release and relax with that exhale. So let's just take a couple more rounds like that, breathing in all the way up the front of the body, just feeling that sense of space, that sense of lift. And as you exhale, can you release the shoulders, feel the chest broaden as the shoulder blades begin to relax into the mat, relaxing the buttocks and the thighs. Let's take one more round. And when you've taken that final exhale down the back seam of the body, just let the breath settle back into a steady rhythm. It might seem a little bit more composed, a little bit more attuned to your breath. So let's begin to work with that now, slowly extending the legs out in front of you if your knees were bent, and taking your time to reach both arms back above the head, finding the floor behind you. That might mean taking your arms out into a nice wide V shape this morning, and have a little wiggle of the fingers, a little wiggle of the toes, maybe a roll of your ankles, a circle of your wrists, just waking the body up gently. As it gets a little bit colder, really important to warm the joints up. And then just pausing in that full body stretch, reaching the fingertips back, pulling the toes a little bit towards your face so you feel some energy out through the heels. We'll take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let's bring the right knee in towards your chest, hands coming up and over to bring that knee in. And soften your shoulders, relax your face as that, give that knee a little squeeze. And try and stretch that left heel out in front of you. It's a lovely one to stretch out those deep muscles of the lower back. Brilliant. And then holding on around the back of the leg, let's take the right leg up towards the ceiling into a hamstring stretch. Knee nice and soft. If that's too much with the left leg extended, just bend your knee and bring the foot to the floor. Let's start to turn the ankle. So circling that right foot, little twirls one way, keeping the toes moving. And then round in the opposite direction. Again, just warming up those joints. And then just push the heel gently up towards the ceiling. Just feel the back of the leg begin to open. You start to shake a little bit, just bend your knee, release the tension there, before bringing the knee back in towards your chest. And this time, see if you can guide that right knee slightly out to the side, just down towards your armpits, a little bit of a hip opener. Keep the left heel stretched away from your toes up towards the ceiling as you just explore reaching your left arm back behind you. So the heel and the fingertips are reaching in opposite directions as you gently bring that right knee out to the side. Taking a couple of breaths there into all that lovely space and length into the left side and the openness into that right hip. And then let's bring the knee back to the chest and bring that left hand down to your right knee, ready for a little twist. So relaxing the right arm down to the floor. Let's roll over to the outside edge of your left leg, bringing the right knee with you. Just rolling onto your left side. Don't worry if the knee doesn't touch the floor or if the shoulder blade lifts. Maybe pick up your head and look over your right arm there, over your right shoulder. Lovely. Let's roll all the way back onto our backs and extend the right leg. Now float both arms back. Let's come back to that full body stretch again, a little bit of movement, maybe stretching into one side of the body and then the other. Just kind of move intuitively there, don't overthink it. A little bit of a stretch. And then we'll find that nice full body stretch. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, left knee this time, give it a squeeze. Arms, bring the knee in towards your chest. Just take care that the shoulders and the face stay relaxed as you give that knee a little hug. Stretching the right heel away from you this time. Toes up towards the ceiling. The breath's there, lovely lateral stretch for the back. Then we'll hold behind the leg and take that left leg up towards the ceiling this time. Nice and soft in the knee as you circle the foot. And again, option to bend your right knee and bring the foot to the floor if your back feels a little tight. A few circles each way, little twirls with the ankle. Taking it round a few times each way before you begin to, a little bit more energy, push the heel up towards the ceiling. So you might feel the back of the leg begin to press against your hands there. Brilliant. Knee comes back in towards your chest. And this time again, we'll guide that left knee slightly out to the side, down towards your armpit, but keep that right heel pressed down into the floor. And then the right arm this time, reach it back behind you. Nice big stretch through the right side. And a little hip opener with the left side, knee coming slightly down and out to the side. Toes of that right foot stay up towards the ceiling. And then knee to chest. Right hand this time comes all the way back to your left knee. Just let that left arm release as you roll now to the right side, rolling onto the outside edge of the right leg, bringing that left knee across the body. Again, a little twist, so keep it nice and gentle. Maybe the head turns away from that knee, looking over your left shoulder this time. And that's it, lovely. Then we'll roll all the way back onto our backs. Slide that right heel back in towards you and then bring both knees in towards your chest. Hands on the knee. Take the legs round in a circle a few times each way just to release through the back. And then we'll come into a shoulder bridge. So when you're ready, both feet come down to the floor. Snuggle your heels towards your sits bones. Press into the base of the big toe. And when you're ready to breathe in, start to press into your feet, lift your hips a little way off the floor. Baby bridge coming up. And then as you exhale, roll your way back down. A little tuck of the tailbone under to lengthen out through the back. Do that twice more. So breathing in, pressing into your feet. Maybe coming up a little bit higher as you roll the spine up from the floor. And then breathing out, let's roll our way back down. So really taking the time to imagine a little bit of space being created through each vertebrae. Last time, inhale, rolling up. Keep pressing into the base of the big toe. So the knees don't roll out to the side. And then breathing out will come all the way back down. So we're going to come up and hold. So option just to do a couple more rolling up and down, or come up with me and hold. So coming up to that flat area between your shoulder blades. So you can tuck your shoulder blades underneath you and interlace your hands. If that's too much too soon, feel free to keep the arms down alongside you as you lift your hips, lift your chest a little higher. Just take care that you're not dropping into one hip or the other. So you might take a quick peek down the front of your body. Check the front of your pelvis is level. Option now to lift your heels as you bring the arms out alongside you. And then keep the heels lifted as you gently roll your way back down. Needs a little bit more control if your heels are lifted. And then the hips touch the floor, relax your heels, and bring the right knee back in towards the chest. One last little stretch. Straight up towards the ceiling. So holding on around the back of that right leg. And this time we'll point and flex. Point and flex the foot. Front and the back of the ankle getting a little stretch now. Brilliant. Knee coming to chest. Now option one, Just bring that knee down and out towards your right armpit, out to the side of your body, just as we did before. Or join me in a half happy baby. We take the sole of that right foot up towards the ceiling, keeping the knee bent. And you can hold just around the back of your thigh, if that's more comfortable. Or lifting head and shoulders, take hold of the inside or outside edge of your right foot with your right hand. And then as you bring your head and shoulders back down, you're bringing that right knee towards your armpit. Have a little look at me if you're a bit confused. So you can hold around the back of your leg, or you can hold around the foot. So we're trying to, if you're in that half happy baby, have your shin perpendicular to the floor, your ankle stacked on top of your knee, and gently draw that knee down. It's a deep hip opener, so go easy there. Ooh, a little bit of stretch in the hamstring as well. And then very slowly release the foot, or take your hand from your leg so you can bring that right foot back down to the floor. Let's try that straight away with the left side. Left leg comes in. And then we'll extend up towards the ceiling, holding around the back of the leg. Point and flex a few times. Oh, just getting a nice sense of space in the front and the back of the ankle. And then ready for that half happy baby, or as you bend your knee, you can bring your knee down towards your armpit, just as we did before, just coming out to the side. Or taking the sole of the left foot up towards the ceiling, knee bent, either holding around the back of your thigh, or lifting head and shoulders so you can catch hold around the foot, and then bringing your head gently back down, bringing that knee towards the outside of your body there, towards your armpit. Now, one side generally feels a little tighter than the other, so if you need to, just bring your left hand to hold the back of the thigh. Feel free. If you need to drop your heel to your bottom and just bring the knee out to the side. You do whatever feels good for your hips this morning. Lovely. Let's release that foot. Snuggle those heels in towards your sits bones. Reach the arms down alongside you. This time, let's see if we can add the arms with our shoulder bridge. So as you inhale, lift the hips and maybe float the arms all the way up and back behind the head. Reaching the fingertips away from you. And as you exhale, lower your hips and bring your hands back down to the floor alongside you. Seeing if you can bring your hips and your hands down together. Let's do that twice more. So inhale, lifting the hips, floating the arms back. If that's a little bit too much for the arms, just work the hips this morning, lifting into a shoulder bridge. And exhale, slowly roll yourself back down again, really balancing that movement with the breath. Last time, inhaling, hips lift, arms extend, they float up and back. They'll squeeze at the bottom, at the top, and then let's come all the way back down. So we're going to come up and hold this time. So lifting the hips, inhaling, floating the arms back, and just lengthen the fingertips back. Imagine someone gently stretching your knees forwards, and then lift up onto the heels. Option to lift your heels. Keep the arms behind you now as you roll your way down. Ooh, getting that sense of length through both sides of the body. And when your hips touch down, bring the arms up and over and give your knees one last hug, one last squeeze, little rock, little circle, just massage away any tension. And then we're going to come up to seated. So feel free to roll to one side or hold behind your knees and whoop, bit of momentum to roll your way up. And extend both legs in front of you. Have a little shake of the knees. Keep the knees very gently bent or generously bent if your hamstrings feel tight. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, let's begin to come forwards over the legs. So you might just bring your hands onto your thighs. You might find your shins. You might be able to wrap your hands around your feet. So wherever you are, think about just gently tucking your chin in so the head isn't dropping. We're thinking about lengthening out through the back of the neck, softening the shoulders. Try not to bounce the body there. So just taking a couple of breaths in stillness. Enjoying that opening sense of space in the back of the leg and into the lower back. And then walking the hands back up towards you. We'll cross right leg in front of left leg, or just keep the legs stretched out in front of you if that's more comfortable. Fingertips to the floor, and just lift your chest a little higher so you're sitting up nice and tall. And then inhale, float the arms all the way up. And exhale, let's bring the hands down to the heart. We're going to overlap your hands, right hand in front of left hand. Just cup the hands together. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, push your arms forwards and drop your chin to your chest. Hollow out through the belly so you get a nice sense of stretch between the shoulder blades. Inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, float the arms all the way back down alongside you, ready for a side stretch. Right arm lifts, inhale. And as you exhale up and over, soften that left elbow, let it drop to your waist. Inhale through center, all the way over to the other side again, tucking the elbow into the waist. Let's do one more each way. So there's a little bit of softness in the underneath arm. We're not locking the elbow, we're just kind of leaning into it and then pushing the floor gently away. So this time, let's take both arms up towards the ceiling, breathing in. As you breathe out, we'll swing the hands behind you until your fingertips find the floor. You can turn your fingers in or keep them pointed out to the side. Now press into your fingertips, see if you can lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lovely sense of opening up some space in the chest as you maybe lift your chin and lift your gaze up towards the ceiling there. Beautiful. And then bend the elbows so you can lean into your hands, extend the legs, give them a little bounce, and then back into that forward fold. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, let's come down over the legs. Again, easing your way into the hamstrings and the low back this morning. So tuck the chin in, lengthen out through the back. Oh, I can feel my hamstrings this morning. They're a little bit tight. They're needing that stretch. And then we'll walk the hands back up towards you. And this time we'll cross left in front of right. Lovely. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bringing the hands down to the heart. And this time we'll cup your left hand in front of your right hand. Breathing in. Breathing out, push the hands forward, drop your chin to your chest. And get that nice sense of spreading the shoulder blades apart. Inhale, reach up. And this time as you exhale, let's take a twist to the right. So one hand in front, the other hand comes behind you. Nice twist. Inhale through center. And as you exhale, let's take that little twist opposite way. So again, just moving from the waist up so the lower body stays nice and grounded. Inhale, one more each way. And exhale, lovely. Inhale to center. And final time, over to the left. Lovely, both arms lifting this time. Inhale, back to center. And we'll bring the fingertips once more all the way back behind you. Big circle, finding the floor so you can press into your fingertips, lifting your chest, lifting your chin, that rolling of the shoulders back. So a little squeeze between the shoulder blades. Lovely. And then release. So we're going to come round onto all fours. So you can roll over your feet, or you can uncross everything and find your way onto all fours on the mat there. Just make sure you've got some space on either side of you, because we're going to be taking the leg out to the side. So just make sure you're not going to get tangled in any coffee tables there. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Check your knees aren't too close to your wrists. We're kind of rounding the back already. So really find that lovely length through the back and the front of the body. Then press into your hands. And then as you inhale, dip your belly, take your tailbone up, bring your chest forwards. Maybe lift your chin away from your chest a little ways. And then exhale like an angry Halloween cat. That will be the next one, Halloween, rounding the back. Just close the eyes there. Maybe just work with the breath now. Inhale, drop your belly, keep pressing into your hands so your shoulders stay nice and safe. And exhale, rounding up angry cat. Let's do that a couple more times. So the front of the body getting a lovely stretch as you inhale. And the back of the body opening up some space as you exhale. Let's do that twice more. Inhale. Try not to scrunch the back of the neck. So chin just comes a little ways away from the chest there. We don't throw it all the way back. Let's do one more. Last one. Inhale. Oh, that's nice. And exhale. Beautiful. So firming up through the belly, find that nice tabletop position. And imagine you've got a little tail now. You're going to swing your tail to the right. So just nudge your hips to the right. And then maybe take your right ear towards your right shoulder. So you're looking back towards the corner of your mat. Inhale to center. Nudge your hips, swing your tail to your left. And maybe left ear comes to left shoulder. Firm through the belly. Inhale to center, one more each way. Great, 1, 2. Stretch each side of the waist. Inhale to center. And exhale, hips to the left, maybe left ear to left shoulder. All the way back through center. Inhale. As you exhale, take your hips to your heels. Walk your hands forwards. And if you can, come onto the tips of your fingers and thumbs, pressing your fingertips down. Maybe have a little rock side to side with your hips, eking them back towards your heels, and see if you can creep your fingertips a little further forward. And now really breathe into all of that lovely space you've created through the sides and the back of the body there, the head just dropping down between the arms. Your forehead might rest on the floor, but don't worry if it's not. Oh, spreading the back with the breath. And letting your palms come to the floor, finding your way back onto all fours. And this time we'll take the right leg back behind you. So just take care as you take the leg back that you're not rolling the hip up towards the ceiling. Press into your hands as you lift the leg, level with the hip, bend the knee, and take the toes up towards the ceiling. Breath in. As you breathe out, knee to chest, nose to knee, tiger pose. Inhale, take that leg up as you bring the chest forwards. And then exhale, squeeze everything into the center. We'll do that twice more. You might feel the back of the leg and the glute working as you extend the toes up towards the ceiling. Last one, inhaling and exhaling to squeeze it all in. Now take that leg all the way back behind you and bring the ball of the foot gently down to the floor. You're going to pick up that right foot and cross it over the left foot. So you're taking it over to the left, and maybe have a look over your left shoulder, ball of foot to floor. And then we'll come all the way back through center and take that right leg all the way out to the right. You can keep your toes on the floor or lift the foot. So inhale to center, it's called a cat's tail. Exhale, toes over to the left, ball of foot to floor. And then inhale to center, and exhale, you sweep that right leg all the way around to the right. Lovely. Great hip strength. Let's do that one more. Inhale, you can feel it working. Exhale, foot crossing over the left. Inhale to center. And this time as you exhale, let's bring that right foot all the way out to the right, and then step or help that foot forwards till it comes to the outside of your right hand. Now you might want to pick up your left knee, just walk it back a little way. So you can then drop some weight forwards into the top of that left hip. Lovely. Now option to stay there, or right hand comes to the inside of your right knee or thigh. Turn the toes out slightly and gently allow the knee to open and turn your chest up towards the ceiling. So you're rolling onto the outside edge of that right foot. If that's too much, then just keep the toes pointing forwards. Lovely. Let's slowly release and bring that foot all the way back to the middle of your mat between your hands. We'll take an inhale and lift the chest. And as you exhale, slide your hips back towards your heels, coming into that little hamstring stretch. So you might keep your knee bent and your foot to the floor. You might pull the toes towards your face. Choice is yours. Woo! Now, option one, stay here, or a little balance challenge. Bring one hand to your hip, bring the other hand to your hip, and then see if you can lift your chest. Brilliant. Beautiful. Let's bring both hands down to the floor. Bend that front knee and take the right arm up towards the ceiling into a lovely twist, opening up through the body. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring both hands down, pick up the back knee and step back into a downward dog. Downward dog isn't for you this morning. Then come to all fours. Have a little pedal out with that dog, walking the feet, pressing one heel and the other down to the floor. And then let's come back down onto all fours, flattening the feet. We'll try that on the left side. So hands under shoulders. Let's take the left leg back this time, sliding the leg back, lifting it level with the hip, bending the knee, toes point up towards the ceiling. We'll take a breath in. Exhale, rounding the back, knee to chest, nose to knee, really hugging everything into center. And then inhale, extend the toes up, chest comes forwards. And then squeezing everything in, exhale, push into your hands. Let's do that twice more. So you might find that one side feels a little weaker than the other. It will tend to be quite one-sided. This is my tighter side, definitely. Inhale to lift. And exhale to squeeze it all in. And then let's take that left leg all the way back behind you so you can bring the ball of the foot gently down to the floor. I'll turn kind of sideways on, lovely. So you're going to pick up the left foot and gently take it over to the right and cross it over your right foot and maybe look over your right shoulder. And then inhale to center. And as you exhale, we're going to take that left leg all the way out to the left. So you can keep the toes on the floor or the foot hovers. Inhale to center. And as you exhale, let's cross the foot over to the right. Inhale to center. And as you exhale, foot sweeps all the way around to the left. Let's do that once more. So as you smooth the leg, try not to swing your hips from side to side. I'm a bit tight for space here. It's time as you inhale and exhale, take the foot round to the left, pause, and then walk or help that foot to the outside of your left hand. So in a little lunge. I'm going to lift my right knee and just walk it back a little bit. So I can come onto my fingertips and allow my hip to drop forwards, chest stays lifted. So we can stay there, little hip opener, or turn that left foot out. Left hand comes to the inside of the knee, and gently allow that knee to open. Be mindful of any ankle injuries as you turn your chest up towards the ceiling. So we're gently opening up some space. If that's too much, keep the foot on the floor. Lovely, let's release. Walk that foot to the middle of your mat between your hands. Take an inhale as you lift your chest, ready for that hamstring stretch. Exhale, let's slide the hips back towards your heels. So again, softness in the knee, foot to floor if you're tight, or maybe pull the toes back towards your face. See how that feels this morning. Make sure your hips haven't swung over to the right side of your mat. Bring them back to center. And if you want that little balance challenge, one hand comes to your hip, and then the other hand comes to your hip, and you lift yourself up. This is my wibbly wobbly side. You might find that one side feels wibbly wobbly. Beautiful balance. Let's come all the way back down, rolling through that front foot. This time we take the left arm up towards the ceiling, coming into a twist. Chest comes forward. Take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, bring the hands down. Let's pick up the back knee and step back into downward facing dog. Have that little pedal out through the feet, pedaling out one heel and then the other, pressing down towards the floor. Beautiful. And then let's take that dog for a little walk. So walking your feet to the top of your mat, coming into a forward fold. So generous bend in the knees, you can cradle your elbows, you can have a little sway of the body side to side. And if you don't want to be in a full forward fold today, then just bring your hands above your knees and support yourself there. You're in that forward fold, really let everything go, release the crown of the head down towards the floor. Keep a nice bend in the knees. Lovely. And then letting go of your elbows, let the arms dangle down in front of you. Keep your chin tucked in as you very slowly start to roll yourself up. Take your time so you don't get that horrible head rush at the top. I'll just adjust the screen there. Lovely. And when you come up to stand, pop a little softness in the knees and take a nice shoulder roll forwards and up and then back and down. So try not to kind of overdo this one. Sometimes we kind of really screw the shoulders up towards the ears and we actually increase tension. So keep it nice and loose. Let's do one more nice circle. And this time try and keep the shoulders down away from the ears as you bring the hands together at your hearts. We're going to do a little riff on a sun salute now. Let me just adjust that so you can see my feet. A nice balanced flow. Take it nice and easy. So we're just going to start just by moving your right arm. So right arm lifts. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, a little side bend, half moon stretch. Arm comes up and over. Inhale through center. And as you exhale, let's bring the hand back to the heart. Other side, inhale. Exhale, little side bend. So bump the hips out to the left. Inhale through center. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart. I'm just going to stand at the top of my mat. Let's bend the knees, sweep both arms this time out and up, inhaling. And as you exhale, let's come down into a forward fold. Arms can come in front of you or out to the side. And for our first flat back, let's bring the hands up to the thighs. Tuck those elbows in towards the side of the body as you lengthen the chest forwards. Follow out through the belly, making that lovely number 7 shape with the body. We'll take one more inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands down and step the right leg back, bringing the knee down to the floor. You're going to untuck the toes and stack both hands on that left thigh, lifting the chest up. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, just lengthen that right knee away from you and let the weight drop forwards a little bit so you feel a nice sense of space in the top of the head. Let's release the right arm. Right arm moving. As you inhale, sweep the arm forwards and up. And as you exhale, reach back, look back as you draw a nice big circle. So inhale, you might drop the weight forwards as you sweep the arm. And then as you exhale, reach back towards the back of your mat. Lovely, we'll do that twice more. So inhale, reaching forwards and up. And exhale, big circle. You can keep a softness in the elbow. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. So this time we'll inhale, sweep the arm forwards and up. And as you exhale, reach to the back corner of your mat with your thumb up towards the ceiling. Take care that that front knee isn't rolling in. Keep it squeezed out to the side as you open up through the chest. Then arm reaches up, inhale. Exhale, both hands frame that front foot. Now option to lift the back knee, tuck the toes, lift the knee. As you take that left arm up into a twist, turning towards your front knee. You can keep the knee down if that's preferable. Reaching the arms apart, take a nice deep breath in. And breathing out, bring both hands down. Pick up the back knee if you've not done so. Keep your shoulders above your wrists. And as you inhale, let's step back into plank. Lovely. Option to drop straight on the knees, or see if you can pause there. Hollow out through the belly. Try and stretch up between the shoulder blades. So press into your hands. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, knees down, chest down. Let's come all the way down onto the floor. Hands come a little wider apart, maybe off your mat. Let's give ourselves some space this morning. And then as you inhale, let's wave the body forwards and up into a gentle cobra, pressing into your hands, shoulders soft, exhale, release. Let's do that twice more. So pressing gently into the tops of your feet, lower body feeling nice and grounded, upper body lovely and buoyant. And exhale. Let's do that one more time. So inhaling, chest lifts, chin stays level with the floor. And this time as you exhale, lower down, bring the hands under the shoulders. Push onto all fours, take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. If you want to have a rest in child pose, feel free. If you're in that downward dog, pop a generous bend in your knees. See if you can stretch your hips up and back as you press into your hands. Lovely. And then rolling your gaze forwards. As you inhale, step your right foot, then your left foot forwards to the top of the mat. And exhale, let's fold over the legs. Bending the knees, sweep the arms all the way out and up. Big breath in as you rise to stand. And exhale, let's bring the hands down to the heart. Take a nice grounding breath in through the nose. And drop the weight into your feet as you exhale. Relax your shoulders. Let's try that with the left side. So left arm lifting, inhale. Let's take that little side bend as you exhale. Arm comes up and over. Inhale to center. And exhale, both hands come back to the heart. Lovely. Other side. So it's a little softness there. Maybe that top elbow bends a little bit. Inhale. And exhale. Are you ready for both arms? So bend the knees. Inhale, both arms lifting. Down into that forward fold. So arms in front or out to the side, whatever works for you this morning. Maybe hands onto your shins this time as you lift up halfway, lengthening out through the chest. And as you exhale, bring the hands down, left leg steps back this time. Let's bring the knee down and flatten the foot. So stack the hands on your right thigh, lifting up nice and tall through the chest. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, just allow the weight to drop forwards a little way, but we're not slumping. We're still pressing into the sole of that front foot. So we've got a bit of energy through the leg. And then left arm this time. Inhale, drop the weight forwards as you sweep the arm forwards and up. And then push the floor away as you reach to the back of your mat. Big circle. So inhale, forwards and up. And exhale, back and round. So if your shoulder feels tight today, just lead with the elbow. Keep it nice and soft. Beautiful. Let's do one more circle. Inhaling, reaching up. And exhaling back. So this time we're going to hold. So we're going to reach forwards and up. And now as you reach back, let's pause. Thumb up towards the ceiling. We can look back towards your thumb or bring your gaze forwards. Depends on how your neck feels this morning. Lovely. Let's lift the arm. Inhale. Both hands frame that front foot now. So ready for that little twist. So we're going to pick up the back knee if you wish. Keep the hips nice and low. And this time it's the right arm that peels up. Keep squeezing that right knee in towards you rather than rolling out to the side. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. Inhaling to plank, keep those shoulders above the wrists. We'll pause there. Again, press into your hands, puff up through your upper back, spread the shoulder blades, inhale, shift the weight forwards. And as you exhale, lower down. Knees might stay lifted, choice is yours. Knees can come down first. Again, let's widen the hands. Inhaling, lifting the chest. So we've got a lovely sense of space across the chest. And exhale to lower. We'll do that twice more. So if you prefer to do Sphinx pose, you can keep your forearms on the floor and just hold Sphinx. If you're with me in Cobra, let's take one more. Nice big breath in, even through the front of the hips, and lower down. Hands under the shoulders. Let's inhale to all fours and exhale, downward dog, or come into a child pose if you need to rest or hold on all fours. Hold for a couple of breaths. So if you're in child pose, feel free just to breathe into the back of the body. If you're in that downward dog, we're trying to lengthen the hips up and back, being generous with that knee bend if your lower back or hamstrings feel tight. If you're in a child pose, come up and join us in downward dog. And then we'll all roll the gaze forwards. And as you inhale, left foot, then right foot steps forwards, top of the mat. Exhale as you fold over the legs. Let's bend both knees. Rise on an inhale. Sweep the arms out and up. Hands come down to the heart. Exhale. Beautiful. So we're going to add on. I'm going to face this way. So I'm working with the opposite leg to you. So we'll keep the hands to the heart. We're going to interlace the hands and free up your index finger, your point finger. It's called Kali Mudra. You bring the hands back to your heart, and it's said to be a gesture of letting go. And I always think about autumn when we see the trees letting go of the leaves. It's traditionally in autumn where we let go of any unwanted stuff. So as you take the arms up towards the ears, we're going to work with that. So upper arms frame your ears. We're pointing that point finger up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's take a little side bend to the left. Keep those arms hugged in. Beautiful. Inhale to center. And as you exhale, let's take a tick-tock over to the other side. It's a little harder with the arms lifted. Inhale, reaching up, separate your hands. And as you exhale, swim the hands behind you. So we can interlace the hands around the low back. Keep the palms apart. Keep a softness in the elbows. You can rest your thumbs on your bottom there. Or begin to straighten the arms, pressing the knuckles down towards the floor. We'll press the hips forwards, maybe lifting your chin. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a forward fold and maybe the arms lift up and over. If that's uncomfortable for your shoulders, just bring your fingertips down to the floor in front of you. Beautiful. Let's let the hands come to the low back. Fingertips sweep towards the floor. As you inhale, let's come into a chair pose, sweeping the arms forwards and up. And as you exhale, forward fold, bringing the hands down. And we'll step the right leg back, this time for a warrior one. We don't often do a warrior one. So turn the right foot out about 45 degrees and just wiggle your left foot towards your left hand. Front knee bent. And as you inhale, sweep the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, let's bring the hands back to the heart and just set ourselves up for greatness. So warrior two, we're facing the long edge of the mat. And warrior one, we're swinging our hips towards the top of your mat. So if that's difficult, just widen your feet a little bit further apart. Imagine you want to stretch the mat apart with your feet. So front foot pressing forwards, outside edge of back foot pressing into the floor. Interlace those hands again. Release the index finger. We're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling. Upper arms hug the ears and hold here for 3 breaths. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, soften the shoulders. Lovely. Press into those feet twice more. Nice deep breath in. And as you release again, see if you can find a little bit more depth in the legs. That sense of letting go. So anything that's been holding you back, anything superfluous to needs, let it go. Let's sweep the hands all the way back down to the heart, bringing the hands together. I'm going to take a little pivot on the back foot, so all 10 toes are facing forwards, and then slide or hop that back foot in about halfway. Soften the front knee as we come into our little warrior 3 balance. Oh, so begin to lean forwards into that left leg. Maybe the right foot lifts. Maybe you begin to tilt the body forwards. You can keep the hands to the heart or reach the arms back alongside you, pressing the back of the hands up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands back to the heart. Now, can you rise to stand, bringing that knee to your chest, right knee to chest, standing up nice and tall. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring both feet to the floor. Pause for a moment, have a little pad out side to side. Sorry, Barry, I know you love a balance. So if balance feels wibbly wobbly, remember your warrior 3 might look like this today. You might just practice lifting and lowering the foot. You might come down a little way, or you might again be coming parallel to the floor. It'll be very different. So have a little play with that, not worrying about where you are this morning. So let's try that on the other side. So interlacing the hands, index fingers free up. Let's take the arms up towards the ceiling there. If this is too much, then just separate your hands into a nice wide V. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, let's push the hips to the left, arms come over to the right. Inhale to center. Little tick-tock over to the other side. Doesn't matter if you're going the opposite way. We're balancing, we're coming to both sides. Inhale to center. Exhale, bring the hands all the way back behind you so you can interlace them. So again, you might keep the elbows bent and the thumbs just resting on your bottom, or straighten the arms and pushing the knuckles down and away. Little squeeze the bottom, push the hips forwards, maybe lift your gaze, lift your chest as we take an inhale. And as you exhale, we come forwards and down, maybe the arms lift up and over. Again, if that's too much, then just bring your fingertips straight down to the floor. Ooh, a little stretch on the shoulders there. Let's release the hands down onto your low back. Then fingertips brush the floor, bend the knees, inhale into your chair pose, lift your chest. And as you exhale, let's come all the way down into that forward fold and step the left leg back. Toes out about 45 degrees, just walk that right foot towards your right hand. And then when you're ready to inhale, sweep the arms forwards and up. As you bring your hands to your heart, make those little adjustments. So if your hips are flaring out to the side there, just see if you can separate the feet a little bit so your hips and heart are facing to the short edge of your mat. Beautiful. Let's come back to that Kali Mudra, interlacing the hands, taking the arms up towards the ceiling. So as your upper arms hug your ears, try and relax the shoulders, try not to puff the rib cage forward, so soften the ribs. Maybe flicker the gaze up as we take those 3 nice deep breaths here. So again, an opportunity just to think of anything that you need to let go of. I always think about autumn being a season of new beginnings. Too long in the classroom where this was the start of a new year, new term, a fresh start. Much nicer time of year to think about a new year than the misery of January. Let's take one more nice deep breath in. And letting go as you exhale. Beautiful. Hands swim back to the heart. So coming back hands to heart, we take that little pivot on the back foot so all 10 toes are facing forwards. A slide or a step in halfway with that back foot. And we're going to soften the front knee. Begin to lean the body weight forward. So maybe that back leg lifts, maybe that left leg lifts a little way. So your warrior, remember, make it yours. Keep a softness in the front knee. Option to keep the hands to the heart. Or maybe out to the side this time, that big aeroplane wings. Again, pressing the back of the hands up towards the ceiling. Let's bring the hands back to the heart. Soften the front knee. Can you bring that left knee to your chest as you rise to stand? You can touch the toes down in between. And then let's bring the foot to the floor. Ooh, have a little pad out, side to side, foot to foot. Beautiful. And then standing at the top of your mat, let's take a nice deep breath in as you sweep the arms all the way out and up. And as you exhale, let's come forwards and down and really bend the knees generously. Now, fingertips can stay on the floor, or you can bring your hands onto your thighs. So see how you go here. So really deep knee bend. Let's stretch into the hips. So let's push the right hip back behind you, straightening that right leg, keep the left knee bent. And take the right arm all the way up towards the ceiling, or simply out to the side. Lovely. And then bend both knees. We'll bring both fingertips down to the floor. Straightening left leg, pushing the hip back, left arm lifts. Lovely. And then release. Let's do one more each side with the breath. So remember, you can do this with the hands on your thighs. Straighten the right leg. Inhale, arm lifts. Exhale, bend the knees, fingertips to floor or hands to thighs. Other side. Inhale, push that hip right back behind you as you straighten the left leg. and exhale. Lovely. Let's keep the fingertips on the floor as we take 2 big steps back to a downward facing dog this time. And from downward dog, we'll drop down onto hands and knees. Option to widen your knees and bring your big toes together as you ease yourself back into a child pose. So if knees wide is uncomfortable, then keep the knees parallel. You can stretch the arms out in front of you or have them threaded back alongside you, whatever feels comfortable there. And just let the body settle. Find its place in space there. Now, if you've got your arms stretched out in front of you, you've got the option of a little shoulder stretch. Joining me as you thread the needle, feeding the right arm underneath the left arm. It's coming onto the top of the shoulder. Maybe lifting that top armpit up a little bit as you lean your body weight towards the right side. Little stretch between the shoulder blades. Let's hold there for a couple of breaths. And then we'll slowly thread that arm back in front of you and change sides. So we feed the other arm underneath you. It's trying to lift that top armpit a little bit as you lean your body weight to the left this time. Lovely. And then again, we'll reach both arms in front of you. Just pause there for a breath or so. Regaining that sense of balance after that little asymmetrical stretch. And then when you're ready, lift your chest, look forwards towards your hands, and then walk your hands back towards you. We'll draw the knees together, pop your bottom to one side, and swish the legs round in front of you. So again, we'll take that little bounce through the legs, sitting up nice and tall. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold over the legs. So having worked those legs, you might find that you can come forwards a little bit further, maybe not. So we can keep that knee bend as generous as you need to. And if your lower back really feels tight, that lovely option of wrapping your hands underneath your thighs and just dropping your head down is always there. There's always options in yoga. So wherever we are, let's just take a breath or two there. And then slowly lifting your head, walking your hands back towards you, and slide your right heel back in towards you. So you've got your knee up towards the ceiling there, sitting up nice and tall. Left hand or elbow gives that knee a little squeeze. We'll sweep the arm forwards and up, right arm circling. And bring your right hand behind you. Now, you can bring your right hand behind your right buttock, or you might be able to walk it round towards your left buttock if your shoulder is nice and open. So doing whatever feels comfortable. See if you can lift your chest a little bit higher. Feel that length through the spine as you stretch that other leg out in front of you. Pull the toes of that left foot towards your face. Lovely. Let's slowly, slowly come back through center. And now simply allow that right knee to roll open. So bringing the sole of the foot up towards your groin, or you can always take it lower down the leg if your knee feels tight or your hip is tight, or stretch both legs out. Inhale, reach up. Let's come down over that extended leg. So as you extend the chest forwards, try not to dip into your right side or your left side. So you're trying to keep your belly, your chest over that left leg. Again, you can keep a softness in the knee. The hands might be quite close towards you. And then we'll walk the hands back up the leg. So this left heel, you're going to slide in towards you so the knee is bent. And just speed that right foot underneath it. So you almost made a number 4 shape with the legs there. Holding on underneath that left thigh. Take a little lean back and then see if you can extend that leg in front of you. And what we tend to do here is sort of slump into the back. So can you sit up nice and tall as you extend that leg out in front of you? It's a heavy lever. Lovely. Let's slowly lower the leg. Option to repeat that, or bend the knee, slide that left heel in towards you and hold this time around the back of your calf, or even around the inside and outside edge of your foot. You're going to lean back, bring the knee with you, and see if you can start extending the legs. So you might end up here, chest nice and lifted, knee bent. You might be able to extend the leg Remember, you can hold underneath. It's called Heron Pose. Think bird-like elegance and lightness there. Ah. My little herons, let's slowly release. That's the tough one. Bring the hands down so you can extend the legs. Give them a little bit of a bounce. And then we'll slide the left heel in towards you. Let's try that on the other side. So left heel coming in. I'm going to do that little twist first of all. So right hand or elbow gives that knee a squeeze. So this time it's the left arm. We draw a big generous circle with fingertips coming down behind your left buttock, or walking your hand round a little further towards your right buttock. So it'll all be very different in terms of how our shoulders feel. And if neither of those options work, you can just rest your hand on your back. Try again to sit forward. So lift your chest a little bit higher, getting those deep postural muscles of our spine to do a little bit of work. That's it. And then slowly bringing the body back to center. And then we'll allow the left knee to open this time. So snuggling that heel up towards your groin or bringing it lower down the leg if that's more comfortable. We'll sweep the arms up, take an inhale. And exhale, we'll come down over that right leg this time. So tuck your chin in. And again, make sure you're not dipping towards the right or the left. So try and keep your chest, your belly stretched over that right leg. That's it. And then we'll walk the hands back up towards you. So we're going to slide that right heel in towards you, the knee bends. So you can feed your right foot underneath your thigh there. So you've made, again, that number 4 shape. Hands hold around the back of your right thigh. We take a little lean back. And you might keep your heel on the floor as you straighten the leg. You might be able to lift the leg a little way. Lift your chest. Lovely. The leg nice and low, chest nice and lifted. Nice tall posture, and then slowly release. So we've got the option to repeat that, or bring the knee in towards your chest, holding on around the back of the calf or around the sides of the foot. So we take a lean back, so you can bring the knee with you. So you might stay here, lifting up through the chest, keeping the leg nice and bent. You might be able to extend the legs. So I'm not slumping, I'm not leaning back, I'm sitting right on top of my sit bones. Remember the option to hold underneath the leg. Maybe the arms don't quite catch the foot there. Lovely. In all our heronly magnificence. Let's slowly release. Oh, I was teaching on Sunday and a beautiful flock of geese flew over as I was teaching. Extend the legs, give them a little bit of a bounce. It was beautiful and very serene. So let's bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor so we can roll down onto our backs. And then bring the knees in towards your chest and have a little roll from buttock to buttock, from side to side there. Just easing into the back. Lovely. And then we'll bring the feet down to the floor, taking them a little wider apart this time, towards the outside of your mat, your heels in, your toes out. Arms can come out level with your shoulders, or you can bring the arms above the head, resting one hand on top of the other, softening the elbows. Come into a nice wide twist to finish. So we'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the knees to the right and maybe roll your gaze to the left. Let's pause there for a breath or two. So any ankle or knee issues, try flexing your feet or maybe walking the feet a little closer together. Try and relax your buttocks and just welcome that sense of gentle twist in the spine. And then when you're ready to inhale, we'll roll back through center and exhale, come over to the other side. So again, we'll flex of the foot, chin rolls to opposite armpit now. Try and relax the knees. And then let's take a little tick-tock now from each side with the breath. I'm going to roll across the back of my heels and then over to the right as I exhale. Inhale to center and exhale other side. So just continuing just to loop back in with your breath. And if you've got the arms above the head, you might start to gently push that top hip in the same direction as your knees. So a little scooch of the hips forwards. So take your time. We're kind of lulling the body towards Shavasana now. So easing your way there. Let's do one more over to the right side. I'm on a creaky floorboard. It's not my back, I promise. Over to the right. And then over to the left. And then when you come back to center, keep the feet wide. And we've got lots of options here. As you bring the arms down alongside you, you've got the option simply to rest your knees against each other, keeping the feet nice and wide. Or go ahead and stretch one leg and then the other out in front of you. About hip width apart. Have a little roll across the back of your heels. The toes roll in and out a couple of times. And then let them roll out. Let the hips release. Close the eyes. And again, make those tiny adjustments to get yourself comfortable and balanced on the mat. So we feel that sense of symmetry between the right side and the left side. Very middle of the back of your head, resting on the floor. An equal weight between the left and the right shoulder blades. So maybe lift your chest, slide the shoulders down away from your ears. Equal weight across the lower back and the left and the right buttock. If your feet are on the floor, an equal weight between the right foot and the left foot, or the right heel and the left heel if your feet are extended. So feeling that sense of balance through the body, and then let's find that harmony with your breath. So you might simply want to follow the breath. Feeling the inhale coming all the way down, right down into those lower lobes of the lungs. And then as you exhale again, the season of letting go, releasing, letting go. If the mind is particularly busy and agitated today, maybe coming back to that orbital breathing. Picturing the breath as you inhale, traveling all the way up the front of your body. That's energy we need to see us through the rest of the day, the rest of the week. And then as you exhale, learning to let go, how to release, how to relax as the breath leaves all the way down the back seam of the body. So whatever you're doing, either simply watching your breath or taking that little breathing exercise. Let's take a couple of rounds now just to settle ourselves. Getting us ready to face the rest of the day, whatever it has in store, the rest of the week with that sense of equanimity and balance. Hopefully. If you're doing that orbital breathing, just finish that last round and let the breath settle. Very gently now, just begin to take a roll across the back of your head. So getting ready to face the rest of the day. And let's ease our way back into that nice and slowly. Little rock side to side. You can do this seated. And then if your knees are bent, let's stretch both legs out and gently float the arms back above the head, finding that gentle stretch now. So don't overdo it. We can float the arms up towards the ceiling if you're sitting up. Just finding that space, reaching back, maybe a little wiggle of your fingers, playful wiggle of your toes. And then as you lower your arms back down, if you're seated, just rest your hands on your knees. If you're lying on your back, bring the knees in towards the chest. Give them a little hug. Option to rock gently side to side. And then rolling to your right or your left side, wherever there's space. Just finding a nice comfortable seat. Again, finding that balance across your sit bones there, so you're not leaning into one side or the other. Lift your chest a little higher. Fingertips finding the floor, so you can gently press down and at the same time lift up through the collarbones. Let's take a nice deep breath in together, sweeping the arms out and up. And as you exhale and bring the hands to the heart, I'll leave you with this lovely quote from Truman Capote, who wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's. He said, Aprils have never meant that much to me. Autumn is the season of new beginning. And it is indeed. So happy autumn. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the week. Namaste. Thank you. And thank you for joining us remotely, Katie. I hope the recording works. Fingers crossed. There we go.